From Tobacco Republic in Loomis, California, the Loomis Cigar Cartel presents Beyond the Humidor, a cigar podcast for the rest of us. Hey everybody, welcome back. Scott Robinson with you once again on another episode of Beyond the Humidor. We're all fresh back from the Rocky Mountain Cigar Festival out in Denver, Colorado, more specifically Broomfield, and we have a few guests with us, actually a couple of guests, not a few. That would be three. Couple is two.
They're not a couple either, just so you know.
I said a couple of guests. I didn't say a guest couple. Just mind the board, Skippy. You see how this episode's going to run, obviously, at this point. Ooh. Let's just start in from the top of what we're smoking and what we're drinking, and we'll do intros. But since you're so eager to... Because no one's listening to me, I feel ignored and I have to start talking. So why don't you introduce our guest?
Hey, remember, I have the power of the mute, buddy. So you know the man to my far right here from a couple different episodes. That's our good friend and cigar smoking buddy, Roy Bolkelman.
What's up?
Our new newbie here, first time on the show, is good friend, been cigar smoking with us for a year and a half, 2 years or so. He's a realtor. He does everything, retired officer. So thank you for your service, ladies and gentlemen. George Knoop.
What, you almost forgot his freaking name? I caught that.
It's George.
You kind of
Hey, George.
You kind of paused there for a second. You had one job, Skippy. Just one job.
How much of that Macallan you had already?
That whole bottle, that whole disappearance is me.
Is who?
Me, I drank all that.
When?
Yeah, when?
If you're going to bullshit me, come up with something that's believable, would you? Sheesh.
And of course, our resident comedian, Lawrence.
How we doing?
Hey, Larry, do me a favor. Start us out with what you're smoking, my friend.
I got the Camacho Corojo. Just kind of one of my go-to cigars. I love Camacho's lighter stuff, and I wasn't able to pick any up in Bloomfield, so I grabbed one when I got here, and that's what I'm smoking today. Pretty light, just earthy, if that's a description. Easy draw, and very, very seldom do you have to relight this at all. And yeah, I like Camacho's line, and the Criollo is one of the better ones, in my opinion. So, and I'm pairing that with a coffee today. So,
no Macallan for you today?
no Macallan for me today, sir.
Yeah, it's not even.
This is a midweek
breakfast.
recording. I got to work tomorrow.
Said the man who drinks with me at breakfast.
Yeah, that's on a weekend. Because if I start running the lawn tractor in circles Saturday morning when I get home, nobody cares. I start walking in circles at the shop, then it becomes a problem. More people witness that kind of stuff.
Oh, gotcha. Hey, Greg, what are you smoking?
I didn't bring anything from the show on this one, but I've got the Rocky Patel Edge Sumatra. It's one of my go-to sticks in the lounge. Sumatra wrapper, Nicaraguan binder and filler. It's just a great stick, and its consistency over the years has been amazing.
Right on. And let's get over to our guest. Roy, what are you smoking and what are you drinking? I know what you're drinking, but let the good people know what you're drinking as well as smoking.
Rocky Patel Old World Reserve. One of my favorites out of their line. When they originally put it out, the Corojo was a better one, but I like the Maduro. I'm smoking the Maduro on this one, although it is a Corojo wrapper. I don't know why. I might have brought up the wrong thing because I don't have all my notes with me right here. This was a spot thing I talked with Greg about yesterday, so I didn't know what I was going to smoke. Great stick. Rocky always really has some good smoke, so I like the Maduro version. It's just in my flavor profile. And I am, along with Scott, I'm sampling a little bit of his Scotch today.
Very nice, very nice. George, what are you smoking this evening?
I'm smoking one of my favorites today, the Rocky Patel Corojo, which I really like. It's nice and smooth all the way through. And like one of my go-to cigars is like what Gregory's smoking today, the Sumatra. That's my everyday yardstick.
Right on. I myself, I am smoking one of my favorites. I got a few boxes from the festival
few.
over the weekend. Shut up, Greg. It's the Plasencia. It's in a Gordo size. This is the Madrono from the Alma del Campo line. This baby is 6.5 by 58. All Nicaraguan, all the time. If you listen to previous podcasts, you know I'm a lover of the Nicaraguan leaf, and this is no exception. On the cold draw, you get just a slight hint of earth and coffee, and as you smoke through it, the flavor profile that Plasencia says it is coffee and nuts. I'm not really getting the nuttiness, but definitely getting some of the coffee elements as I drink my Macallan.
Not bad, not bad.
Well, let's get to the elephant in the room. Like I said, we are fresh from the Rocky Mountain Cigar Festival. This is our second year doing it. We were going to go last year. This would have been our third if it wasn't for COVID. But we managed to attend it this year. A good time was, had by all, just a short trip to Grandma's house. And we had all sorts of crazy, wacky adventures as we did.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you looking at me like that?
I'm looking at you because I can't wait to mention this story. Larry
You're going to get me shot.
has elevated to the annals of pimpdom. My man. And let me explain that. So, Larry and I, palled around for a good portion of the festival, and the drinks were flowing, let's just say that. So we're strolling along, and inside the pavilion area, there's these two pool tables, and two very nice-looking young ladies, very nice, very sweet. They were challenging gentlemen or ladies to a game of pool. You pay like $6 or $10 for however many games, and you'd see if you could beat them in a game of 8-ball. Well, Larry and I were walking through there, and one of the ladies, I don't know who initiated the conversation. Was it us or was it her?
She did. She came up and commented on our shirts.
Yeah, so she comments on our shirts, and she's playing a gentleman. And all of a sudden, we, Larry and I and Michelle get into a lovely conversation. Very sweet, very polite. And, the gentleman who was playing pool, he looks like, hey, I paid $10 to play a game of pool, and you're paying attention to them. Larry. And, dude, I tip my hat to you. Pimp strong and prosper.
Oh, God.
He reaches into his pocket, pulls out his pimp roll, peels off a couple of bills, and slams them on the table. And then we continue to talk to Michelle. I was in awe.
Hey, every once in a while, it's I even amaze myself.
I was impressed. That's for certain. But that was probably one of my favorite moments of the festival right there.
And situations like this occur because of a couple of things. Rocker Bourbon, who brought their 1951 white semi truck out is their bar. Probably the coolest display piece I've seen in a long time.
Oh, without a doubt.
And then putting Prost Brewery 2 tables over from Delirium Brewery, probably not a stellar idea there, Bloomfield.
That was a stellar idea.
Oh, man. So the guys from Prost, we met a couple of years ago. And then one of the guys that was at Prost a couple of years ago is now with Delirium Brewing, and they're based out of Belgium, if I remember what he said correctly.
Yeah, that's correct.
And we were back and forth. Prost, Delirium, Prost, Delirium. Oh, Rockler, Prost, Rockler, Delirium. It was like a pinball machine, man. And whew.
Yeah,
So
Larry.
if I offended you, I'm 100% apologizing.
No. You were good, actually. You just needed like minimal management, but you did need some management. Just a little bit.
Minimal management.
I'm trying to make my way to dinner, and you wanted to talk to everybody. I was like, hey, man, let's go to dinner. And he's, all right. He starts talking to one other person. Then he goes and finds another person to talk to. You were on a mission, baby.
A chatty Cathy right there, man.
Yes, you were.
But no, it was a great trip. You guys, if you follow the podcast at all, you've heard us talk about this trip. You know, getting ready for this one, coming back from the one 2 years ago. It's definitely worth looking into. If you've never been to anything like this cigar related, this is the one to go to, in my opinion.
Without a doubt it is. Yeah, I really had a good time, but I don't want to monopolize the conversation. I just had to get that story out. Ah, come on. But I want to talk to our,
Good.
you know, we
It's still
introduced
recording, we're
George to this festival. George came. This is his first time. So I want to hear a little bit from George about your impressions of the festival being your first time.
Well, first off, I'd like to thank Gregory and you and Larry for convincing me to go to this festival. And I'll tell you, it was the most awesome time I ever had. And to the people out there, if you've never been to one, go to it. I mean, the people are just down-to-earth friendly, and so are the cigar makers. I mean, it was just awesome. You know, I got to sit there and talk to Island Jim personally. You know, and it was just blew my mind how friendly they were. And when they found, especially when they found out about our podcast and stuff and everything, it was amazing how they were really up to it.
Yep. The cigar community as a whole, I think, is kind of a different animal than other specific types of groups. It's just you got a little bit mellower crowd, I think, most of the time. Although there are those cats that wear the kilts, you know, they're a little, they scare me a little bit. I'm not gonna lie.
I got mad love for the kilted gentlemen. I mean, they're awesome.
I didn't,
Hey, you do realize they want you to wear one next year.
I'll wear one.
I didn't
have
tell
no
you about
problem.
dropping a beer while I was talking to him, huh?
No, you didn't. What the hell
Dude.
happened?
I don't know, to be honest with you. I got one of my cans of Prost in the little can cooler, and it just let go, and it landed perfect. So I don't even miss a beat. I'm still talking, big surprise. And I bend down, grab the beer, pick it up. I'm on alcohol abuse. I apologize, guys. And the one guy, I don't remember his name. He's got the red beard. He looks at me. He goes, "Hey, thanks for not looking up." I was like, "Wow." Hey, you don't know that I didn't, but you know, hey.
Those cats are out of Omaha, aren't they?
Yes,
Yeah,
they are.
they
Omaha,
drove.
Nebraska.
Yeah, I know. 8 hours from Broomfield over to Omaha. Hey, mad respect.
Sheesh.
And Mike, thanks for listening to the podcast. I got your message.
Oh, yeah, I saw that too. That's great. Hey, guys, keep on listening. Oh, we've got a challenge coming up.
We do. We just have to figure out what we're going to win at so they don't win.
Steel cage match?
No. I say we do a drinking competition and we put our best three forward. So that's you, Larry, and Roy.
Well, it certainly won't be deer hunting.
No.
Wow.
Sorry. I'm sorry. That was supposed to be my inside voice.
You don't have one.
Eh.
So back to George.
Yes, George, please.
I recommend highly everybody getting the VIP package. It's the way to go because everybody got almost 80 cigars in their packages. I know Greg and I got 72, and then I highly recommend sampling all the cigars there from all the different manufacturers.
Yeah.
There is plenty of opportunity, that's for sure.
Yeah, and so I've been smoking some out of my bag and making the notes, and Greg was so kind to give us a journal. And so all of us have been taking notes on all the cigars we've been smoking of what we like about it, don't like about it. And I believe in a future cast, we'll be having a big wrap up on that.
Yep.
That's the best thing about that kind of event is almost every manufacturer has their sample packs where you get either 4 or 5 different cigars in a sample pack. The cost is considered for us being from California. The cost is considerably lower than what we would have to pay for cigars here at home. So myself personally, I'm a lot more in tune to buying something up there that I've never tried, I don't know anything about. If you can get, a $25 or $30 sampler pack,
Yeah.
You know, if you get something you don't like, you just set it down the ashtray and move on.
Yep.
And
That was so great about it is the sampler packs were only $35 to $40.
yep,
And then depending on which vendor you went to, you had 4 or 5 cigars in it.
yep.
I mean,
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, no, it's a great experience. Even if you don't like cigars, I mean, if you're with somebody that's a cigar smoker, you know, guys, bring your wife or your girlfriend, because it's a fun time either way.
Yep.
You know, it's the Omni's a nice hotel. They got a nice venue, pool, you know, the whole bit. There's some great places to eat within, you know,
2 mile radius.
yeah, 10-minute drive. Or if you want to venture, you know, the 45 minutes into Denver, there's some great stuff in downtown Denver. So yeah, it's definitely worth the trip out for sure.
Yeah.
Amen to that.
I feel like we're ignoring Roy here. I mean, because this was your first time going to the festival, wasn't
Oh, it was my first time going to the
Yeah.
festival, but you're not ignoring me. Everything that's being said, I could only just sit here and say, I agree 100% with everything there. I went in on a different package than they did. Everybody here had the VIP package, I do believe, except for me and my wife Samantha. We had the general admission,
The rabble, as we call them.
the
Wow.
steerage admission. Yes, we were the.
Wow.
We got in an hour later.
Do
which
you
I
want a
didn't
puffy white wig and like a little blousey blouse?
Yes.
I don't know why you even had to ask that.
And I treat you like the French aristocrat you look like and chop off your head.
Wow.
French.
Yep.
Roger's not here, man.
True.
Wow.
Frenchie's not here. Anyway, no. Even the general admission I had, we got half the sticks that the VIP did. Our little pack was also not really as quality as theirs. They got a really good backpack out of it. They got different sticks as well. They got some higher quality sticks out of it. While the general admission got some more general line versus specialized stuff. I do believe some of the CAO stuff you guys got were a little bit higher end lines versus I got a standard Brasilia out of it. I have no problem with the Brasilia. The Brasilia is a good stick, but
It's just a different experience.
it's a different experience. It's not that VIP experience. And so you know what? Next year I'm getting the VIP tickets for myself and my wife, and we're just going to go in a little bit earlier, like with you guys. Just enjoy it at that.
You know
Well,
what was
here's-
funny,
oh,
if
go ahead,
I may,
I'm sorry.
Scott, just
Yeah.
for a second. So Roy is out of the group that went with us, including our last guest, Tommy. Roy and Tommy have been the most into their bag so far. Weren't you telling me yesterday the first 6 sticks that you pulled out of that bag all had the Brazilian wrapper?
It wasn't the first 6, but out of the first 6 that I grabbed, 4 of them had Brazilian wrappers. I'm like, well, I expected on the Brasilia, on the CAO Brasilia, but the next one I picked up, Brazilian wrapper. Oh, well, let's continue the trend. I had a Brazilians do that. Okay, these 2 were Nicaraguan or whatever. Then last night I grabbed a couple, and it's like, Brazilian wrapper. Romeo's got a Brazilian wrapper? Okay, let's try this out. Macanito's got a Brazilian wrapper? What the? All right, let's try it out. But it just seemed like I was just grabbing Brazilian wrappers out of it. I'm like going, I like them, but I don't like them that much.
Luck of the draw, it sounds like.
Yeah, just RNG right there.
But the one thing I'll tell you, as far as, you mentioned the experience, the only real difference, because you got to experience the festival, the only difference between the social, I think you got the social.
No, actually, I got
general
the
admin.
general
Oh,
admission.
general admin, yeah.
I got the general
Yeah,
admin.
the general admin and the VIP is VIP gets to go in an hour early.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that that's not significant. It's extremely significant.
It is.
But once you get in there, you still get the experience.
Yeah,
So
once midnight, well, not midnight, but once noon hit, everybody's the same. There was certain sections that I couldn't go into. The VIP tent, I
Yeah.
couldn't go into there. Big whoop. If I need to sit down and relax in the shade, I could go inside, grab some shade, whatever. It wasn't a couple of years ago when you guys were there. It was pretty hot and humid when you were
100
there.
plus.
Yeah.
It was rough.
because it had rained right before the event had happened.
Oh,
this
yeah.
year it was dry up there, and it was only in the low 90s. So I didn't have to look for too much shade. They have water stations there.
They have water?
Yes.
Yes, there was water there.
There were a couple of water
I'll
stations.
be damned.
You were finding your water in other areas. In the
Learn
beer.
something new every day.
Well, see, that's why I wasn't as jacked up as you, because I went upstairs to the room and pounded some water.
I don't want to hurt your feelings, but I did that as well.
He just drank more than you did. But no, I did that circuit with them as well. They pulled me over to both Larry and Scott pulled me over to the Delirium counter, and
Tell us about that beer.
Oh God, that stuff is awesome. I don't normally drink beer. I'm normally a Scotch guy, whiskey guy. The occasional beer I do drink is normally a really dark beer, a Bock, Doppelbock, stouts, stuff like that. This stuff is Belgian ales, which are lighter, but this stuff is like 8.5% compared to the 5 that we're used to here in California for all our beers. Ooh, that doesn't taste like an 8.5. This stuff is
Yeah, it's smooth.
excellent. It's
And
smooth.
what was it? Was a Delirium Red?
Yes,
The
Delirium
Delirium
Red.
Yeah, well, in stereo. It's cherry and elderberry infused, all natural.
No
there's-
sweeteners in
Yeah,
it.
there's no artificial sweeteners or anything. And honestly, one of the best flavored beers I've had ever. It was great.
That stuff was so good. I actually went to one of the big box alcohol shops that I go
Bevmo.
to.
You can say Bevmo.
Okay, I went to Bevmo because I was picking up a few things from over there, and I looked to see if it was in there, and lo and behold, all 3 of them: the Delirium Tremens, which is their standard ale, the Nocturne, which is their dark stuff, and the Red were in there. 4-pack, 16-ounce cans. I went, yeah. Then they had the 20-ounce tall bottles with the champagne cage on the top and a cork in it. Yeah, I'll grab a bottle of that too, just because.
Larry and I look at each other. It's like we don't have to even say a word. It's just an understanding.
Yep. So the thing that we noticed about or at least Scott and I talked about up there this year, the difference between getting in an hour early and not versus the VIP and the standard general admission. 2 years ago, by the time general admission was let in, Fuente was just about wiped out.
Yeah, they were cleaned out.
Unfortunately, they weren't there this year.
No, they weren't. There were a couple of vendors that I was disappointed that weren't
Yeah.
there.
This year, Oscar, one of my favorite cigars from Oscar that our buddy Bob Biles got me onto is their 2012 Barber Pole. He only brought 8 boxes.
Yeah, I
I'm
got
like, yep.
one.
Scott and I both bought a box.
Oh yeah.
His Barber Poles were gone by, probably 11:20.
Oh yeah.
Both the guys that were standing behind us both bought a box. So that's half of them right there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's if there's something specific that you want to get, then the VIP may be worth that just to make sure you get there, and that's the first vendor you go to.
Well,
Yes.
yeah, because this is just, my second time going, so I knew the vendors I wanted to hit,
Yep.
and Oscar was one, Illusion and Placencia.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone else is like, hey, I dug their cigars too, but those were the 3 I intended to hit.
And there was a new vendor that was there this year for that some of us have smoked, and that was Cavalier. Sebastian was there, and he's a real cool dude. And the one thing I like, which George had mentioned too, you go to the event and you can talk to them. There's time. If you want to spend 20 minutes talking to a vendor, they have the time for you, and you have the time for them. It really makes it more of a fun experience.
Yeah, and then the VIP, Friday night they did a HERF that was Drew Estates and Rocky, but a lot of the other vendors were just hanging around.
Oh,
Yes.
So, we can recognize Island Jim, and, we can recognize some of these other guys, and they're not working at this point. They're just there
Yeah.
having a smoke and hanging out to talk to people.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was a great time. This is an awesome event.
And we ran into quite a few people who have who know where we're from and have also listened to the podcast. So let me just give a shout out that I'm really gratified that a lot of people are listening to the podcast.
Yeah, because we enjoy doing it.
Yes.
Yep. Now we have a good time with it.
Oh yeah. Now, one of the vendors, and they're not a vendor to speak of, but one group who was there who I truly want to give a shout out to are the veterans, the
Cigars for Warriors.
Cigars for Warriors. Just an outstanding organization. What they do is they collect cigars and money and I think coffee and jerky and different things that they can send over to the troops who are in active AOs overseas.
And that's their priority is amazing too. It's active duty in a conflict or in country, and then they do the ones that are here in the country and reserve. I mean, it's a great organization. It's one that I don't know about you guys. You know, the last 2 visits we've been there, I make sure I throw whether it's cigars or money in the kitty for them because
Yeah, without a doubt.
it's truly a great organization. And you know, we were supposed to talk to you, but we had a little technical problems because it was just too loud with the equipment we brought. And I've already shot an email off to you guys if you're listening to set you up for a full recording with us for our Veterans Day show. So we hope you can join us.
Yeah, that goes for everyone because I know
Yeah.
Friday night we talked to a lot of people about, hey, we want to get like a little minute or 2 spot with you
Yeah.
guys. And we figured out very early in the operation Saturday morning that there was too much noise, too many people, like Greg said, for the equipment that we brought.
Yeah.
So we just scrapped that. We'd rather have not done it than had something that you couldn't hear us the questions asked or anything based on the background noise. So we had to shelf that idea, and we'll come up with a better plan for next year.
And to be fair, too, guys, I know that you two got a whole bunch of business cards.
Yeah.
We will be reaching out to you. We haven't forgotten about you.
Yes, we will be reaching out to you within the coming week next week.
Yeah. We all have regular jobs too, so you know.
Yeah.
But we will definitely be talking to you, and we appreciate your support, every single one of you.
Well, as we're talking about Cigar for Warriors, and I think this is timely as to what happened in Afghanistan about a week ago. I think right now, we ought to give just 13 seconds of silence to the 13 Marines who were murdered, just doing their job, a humanitarian mission in Afghanistan. So, gentlemen, if you join me, just a silence for 13 seconds. And I just want to say one thing to all those Marines, sailors, soldiers, and airmen who are here and abroad, who stand on a wall and stand watch late at night so that we sleep peacefully at night while keeping our enemies awake at night. Thank you. And to those 13 Marines, Semper Fi.
Amen.
Amen.
You know, Greg, if I remember correctly, when we were talking to Chris at the Cigars for Warriors, he was saying they've already given out 2 million cigars. Was that right?
1.2 million.
1.2 million.
Yep.
That's amazing. I wasn't sure what kind of number he was going to throw out. I was not prepared for 1.2 million.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, just an outstanding organization. You know, I've got family who have served and who are serving now. And, you know, when, you know, folks stateside, you know, are willing to do something like that,
Yep.
you know, that's just real, real special. You know, being far away from home and deployments. One of my favorite cousins, she's about to be deployed to Poland. She's in the Army, and she's going to be there for about, I think, 14 months. So she's leaving her husband and her little girl, who's 6 years old, to be on station in Poland. And, you know, it just harkens back to the sacrifice that our men and women in uniform go through and the price they pay.
Yeah.
So, I think I just wanted to give an acknowledgement of that.
No, I appreciate that, man. That's very important. I think during the course of our busy lives, we have a tendency to, I don't want to say forget, but
Overlook.
Yeah, you just, you know, you don't take the time to remember, think about,
Right on.
you know, people in different walks of life that are, you know, putting in a hell of a lot more work than we do day in and day out.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
That is for certain. And we will be reaching out to the Cigars for Warriors, and we'd like to do something special for them. We're in talks right now trying to figure out what we can do, to support that organization because, as most of you know, we at Beyond the Humidor, we support first responders and we support soldiers.
Absolutely. Even retired ones.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
That wasn't a shot or nothing, huh, John?
But I wanted to mention about Chris, too, again, that he is full-time law enforcement, and he volunteers his time for Cigars for Warriors.
Yeah.
Oh, outstanding.
Yep.
Yeah, so I want to give a big thank you for your service there, and to all my fellow law enforcement officers, active and retired.
Yeah,
Sure.
thank
Thin
you.
blue line.
Thank you.
So, George,
Yes, sir.
not to put you on the spot here,
And too late.
but we have a tradition on the show. Every time someone new comes on the program, they get asked this question. Tell us about your first cigar experience, if you can remember it, and what got you into it.
Well, it was called Men's Camp Out. It was about 12 years ago, and a bunch of guys had cigars and stuff, and so I tried one. Just kind of backtrack a little bit. About 33 years ago, I smoked a pipe for 12 years and really loved a pipe, and then I gave it up when my first daughter was born. And so when the time came here 12 years ago to smoke a cigar, I fell in love with it and started, and I was just off and on. And then I was working at the Hard Rock Cafe, and Dan, the woodmaker, I got to meet. He was gambling, he was smoking a cigar, and I asked him, where'd you get that? And he mentioned Tobacco Republic, and it said Ron's the owner, said get a hold of him and talk to him. So I finally made it August of last year, so I've been coming here a year, almost every Thursdays and Saturdays. Met a whole bunch of, I consider you all my second family.
Thank you.
You'll get over that.
I've already gotten over you, Larry.
Yeah. that ain't hard. Hey, George, in my defense, I warned you last week.
Oh, I know it. I took it in stride, too.
As you can see, ladies and gentlemen, he fits right in.
Yes, he does.
Wow.
But thank you guys for your friendship and everything. It's been great.
It's our pleasure. So,
Stitch. What?
were there any round table for you guys? Were there any vendors that impressed you?
All of them were selling cigars, so they all impressed me.
Well, for example, and you'll forgive me for not remembering the organization. Actually, let's back up a minute.
Okay.
The one that impressed me the most, and that was Larry. Larry knows this group because he's like, dude, you need to buy, or maybe it was you, one of you two, you need to buy a bundle from these guys, and that was All Saints Cigars.
Yes.
Yep.
So one of you want to relate their story here?
I'm not completely clear on the story, and we're going to have them on the program. I think we've got their card between the three of us.
Yep.
But I think they're a young
They started
group.
in 2018.
Yeah.
Their first cigars were ready to go right about the start of the pandemic, and everything crashed.
Yeah.
Then, as they started to come out, they're like, "What are we going to do?" They realized, and they got back down to, and I can't remember if it was Honduras or Nicaragua where they were manufacturing. I apologize, guys. They had all these cigars warehoused from 2 years ago, so that's what was their first release. And both the owners were there. That was the only two guys running the booth that I saw was the two owners.
Yep.
Super nice guys. So we all picked up a sample pack from them.
I picked up a box.
Okay. I didn't know you got a box too. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't know I got a box either until I opened up my humidor going through the inventory today and said, okay.
Nice.
Now, George smoked one of those last night,
Yes, I did.
and what'd you think?
I thought it was really good. Toward the end, it kind of had a little burnt, but I just think maybe I was smoking it a little too fast and not blowing through it to let it cool down a little bit.
Yep.
But it was mellow all the way through. I would say it'd be medium to strong,
Okay.
Okay.
probably more toward the strong side, but still had a very good taste to it.
Did you throw a photo? That was out of their sample pack.
Yes, it was, yeah.
Did you throw a photo up on the cartel page on which one that was?
I don't know I don't think I did. I'll have to throw one up.
Well, yeah. Let me know which one it is, because I definitely, I want to look at those and maybe even do that as a cigar of the month, or
Yeah.
not even necessarily cigar of the month. It doesn't have to be, but everybody smoking one of theirs.
Yeah.
And throw a plug out for them.
Well, you know what? We were in conversations with them, and what we want to do is have them on the program, and we just all for that program, we smoke their cigar and smoke it with them and discuss, their story and just enjoy their cigars at the same time.
No,
Yeah.
that's an awesome idea, man.
So-
I'd love that because both those guys were just super nice,
Yeah.
super humble about their product and stuff. And
Yeah, good dudes.
Yeah, for
Yep.
sure. But this year there was kind of a different vibe this year than 2 years ago.
A little bit, but see, I think a lot of that obviously is because of the pandemic and the supply chain.
Yeah,
And people were just getting out, just getting out really this year
Yeah.
because everybody's been pent up. And I'll say this as far as off the beaten track a little bit, as far as travel and air travel goes, it's gotten to a point where it's just brought out the worst in people.
so let's segue a second.
Oh,
Let's.
okay.
Denver International Airport. Hire a goddamn contractor. Y'all been working on that airport most of my adult life. We were there 2 years ago. Nothing's changed. The same barricades are up. The same stuff's roped off. They got plastic over the same area. Hire a legitimate, actual contractor, not a retired postal worker that's doing this on Tuesdays between 3:30 and 7. 'Cause this shit is ridiculous, man. You got to do like a figure 8 to get from one place to the other. My fat ass does not walk that far. I don't like it.
So I got 2 stories from Denver, from the airport.
Here it comes.
Do tell.
Both of them, fortunately, thanks to George, none of my lighters got nicked this year because we mailed them home.
Yeah, thank you, George.
Yes,
Yeah,
thank you very
you're
much for
welcome.
that.
I would have probably lost my shit this year if I'd have got pinched again.
So,
I thought you were going to lose your shit when you realized that you couldn't walk through TSA pre.
So out of the 4 guys that rented a car together, I'm the only one that doesn't have TSA pre-board.
I don't have it either.
Yeah, but yours is on the way.
Mine's on the way, yes. So,
until you've experienced this, there's no way to adequately understand how shitty not having TSA pre is. So George and Scott, they take about 50 steps up this line. Guy looks them up and down. Go ahead. I have to go through this cattle call of a corn maze, literally the length of a football field. I get up in the line. I've got my shoes off, everything out of my pockets, belt off, in the plastic bin. It is going through the scanner. I am the next one to get on the pad for them to scan. And a guy like 3 or 4 people back from me starts having an issue with a TSA guy in the line behind us. And all I could think is, dude, shut the hell up. Just shut up until I can get my crap out of the scanner and get the hell out of here, because you are about to piss this dude off, and every TSA within shouting distance is going to be clubbing you like a baby seal, and I'm not going to be able to get my shit and get on my plane. So, yeah, and I mean, I get it. I know they're doing a job, but man, that's a rough experience.
yeah.
I don't like to fly.
I really
I
don't
don't.
like to fly now.
So I had a TSA. I'm not going to call it an issue because it was quite entertaining.
Your life is quite entertaining.
Well, yes. I didn't check any of my bags. I carried everything on board. So these guys went through a different lane than I did, a different gate than I did, security checkpoint. So I get into this security checkpoint, and it moved really quickly. 10 minutes max, I'm through it. But
It moved really quickly, 10 minutes.
when I get to the belt, so I get to the belt, and I disrobe, put all my shit in a plastic bin. It goes through. I drop my suitcase on.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, you can't just solve
Define
all that.
disrobe.
Shoes, belt, wallet.
Why the fuck you
That's
just
not.
say
That's
that?
not.
That's
yeah,
not
that's not
disrobing.
disrobe.
Close enough.
No,
Because if I don't,
no.
Well,
no,
hang
because
on,
it-
hang
because
on.
If
To
you
see your Uncle
disrobe,
Fester
I'm
butt
fine
going
with the
through.
line I was in. I'm just saying.
well,
I'm good.
if my belt's off for too long, you're going to see things you don't want to see. Okay.
So did they let you go through out of pity?
Yes. So I put my carry-on on the belt, right? And the TSA guy, white dude, looks at me and goes, "There's nothing in here that's surprising, is there?" I'm like, "Just cigars, man." He goes, "Well, you know, when you got a camo bag, you never know what's in there." I look dude straight in the eye. I'm like, "Are you profiling me?" No. I'm like, "Dude, I'm just messing with you. It's okay." My bag goes through the scanner, and the guy that's standing behind the scanner is a little Asian dude, looks like a young George Takei. He looks over at me. He goes, "This yours?" "Yeah." So he walks over, because I haven't gone through the metal detector yet, and he goes, "Is that full of cigars?" And I'm like, "Yes, it is." "What the hell was going on?" I'm like, "Oh, big Rocky Mountain Cigar Festival over in Broomfield." He goes, "You're about the 5th or 6th bag I've seen stuffed to the gills with nothing in it but cigars." I'm like, "You'll see a lot of those."
Yeah, we threw our clothes away.
Yes. I mean, friendly, both guys really friendly, which is not normal for TSA. Normally, they've all got a stick up their ass.
Wow.
But, well, they do. Sorry, Bruce.
Wow, man.
But he's
I
retired
know, man.
now.
I was looking around for Cagney and Lacey this trip, man. I didn't see them.
But,
Two years ago, it was rough. I thought I was going to get thrown to the ground, patted down, but
Well, it's worse this year. And pretty much people who know me know what my bitch is about to be. No frickin' alcohol on the flight.
oh, it must have killed you.
And not only that, we're at the Denver airport 2 hours before our flight. There is a brewery
Yeah.
that doesn't serve alcohol now.
Yeah, I was like, what the
What?
hell?
Can you people maintain enough that guys like Scott and I can get a beer before we fly?
Yeah, I got a
You don't have to have
message.
37 beers and be like peeing up and down the aisle of the airplane. I mean,
Yeah, I got-
manage your shit.
I got a message for everybody out there. Act fucking right. Because apparently American Airlines isn't serving alcohol till November, and all the other airlines are following suit because you motherfuckers don't know how to act. You get a little bit of liquor in you, they tell you to put your mask on, and you're like, "I don't have to do shit." Blah, blah, blah. They're taping you to the fucking seat. And I can't get my rum and coke or my, whatever alcoholic. Now, when I went to Cedar Rapids, it hadn't happened yet. So I'm very grateful for that because I would have been really angry in first class saying, "What do you mean I don't get alcohol? It's the whole point of me getting first class."
Wow.
I want my champagne and lobster, motherfuckers.
Oh, and
Lobster roll.
before the podcast, these guys were giving me a ration of shit for my luggage.
Dude, anybody that buys luggage that you could trade in on new luggage that's a little bougie. I'm just saying.
Hey, that's all on my wife, and I'm not complaining.
I
'Cause
wouldn't either
didn't-
if I was you.
I didn't know you could do that.
I didn't know until like 2 hours ago.
Yeah, we were doing a whole bunch of traveling, and it's like, hey, our luggage is looking a little worn, and the wheels coming off, and the zippers not acting right. So we went over to Samsonite, and they said, "Oh, we'll buy back your luggage and sell you new luggage." You don't say. Hence, we got new luggage.
Well, I think out of the group of us, the best packed one was George. That big carry-on, that's all he needed. Or big check bag, that's all he needed.
Well, yeah. Well, see, the whole thing about that was I thought I was being a clever rabbit, and hey, I just got carry-on in my backpack. That's all I need. I'm going to travel light. Yeah, well, after the festival on Saturday, I wake up and I look at the chair that's next to me that's just piled with shit. And I
Two and a half feet high with cigars, boxes, sample bags.
Yeah, I was just looking like, dear God, what have I done? And don't you laugh because you fucker were with me at Walmart and we picked up a couple of bags, threw our clothes in it in the boxes, and then threw all the loose cigars in our carry-on.
Oh, you guys weren't the only one. I ended up going to Walmart before you guys did and got an extra carry-on just so we can take our cigars home because I picked up boxes. I didn't pick up any sampler packs because one of the places where I went, I didn't want the sampler packs. I just wanted boxes. Just give me the boxes. Give me the boxes.
There you go.
Besides, what was it? Oscar didn't have any sampler packs when I went there. I don't think he even brought any. But I picked up.
No.
I picked up.
He did. They were gone.
Oh, they were gone. Okay, because
I didn't see him.
Because
They were there.
I ended up
Okay.
picking up 4 boxes from Rocky, 2 the night before, 2 there, and I could have gotten one of those little. I probably could have talked him into giving me one of those cases with the glasses and everything and the lighter, the big ones, the one that I already got a couple of years ago. Since I already had that, I didn't want that, but
Okay, I gotta say this about you, Roy. I was fucking impressed. You and your wife managed to get all your luggage and toiletries in one carry-on bag.
we packed light.
How in fuckville did you get all your shit in one carry-on?
Well,
Because
we
he's
had
not
2
bougie.
Actually, it was 2 carry-ons. The cigars were in one carry-on. We also used our backpacks for the cigars as well. Our clothes and stuff ended up in just our regular carry-on that we took with us. But we took 2 sets of clothes. The set we had on when we flew there, which was the jeans and T-shirt I had on when we left, and the clothes for the event, and that was it. And she was going, "We're taking a check bag next time. I want more clothes with us." I'm like, "Yes, dear."
Well, and so the last podcast, the 3 of us set goals of how many cigars we were going to bring home. I don't think either of you got even close to what you were goaling for.
No comment, Senator.
Yeah. No, and that was what I was alluding to earlier about the vibe was different. Prices have gone up since 2 years ago,
Yeah.
and a lot of the vendors packed up a little bit early.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, by 6 o'clock, I mean, most of them have bunked out.
So there wasn't the opportunity to get those into show deals like we did 2 years ago. So when I did my original count, I was surprised, and then it dawned on me that I didn't count any of the boxes I bought. So I'm at about 550 is where I'm at.
Yeah, I haven't even bothered counting. Well, I'm probably in the neighborhood of
550, 600. Yeah.
Actual sticks.
Yeah.
yeah.
I came home with 780.
Winner.
Yeah, year of the winter.
Good for you.
Because I had, 20, 40, 60, 20, yeah. Mine was 6 boxes plus the
Plus
grab
the bag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so that'll carry me through the winter.
Yeah.
You know, and I can,
Well,
I can hibernate with the sticks I have.
If the camera monkey stays out of your humidor.
I know, I'm going to have to start locking that up.
Oh, yeah, there was the one time there, we were all sitting there together, and, Greg gets a phone call. It's Sebastian.
Yes.
You see this big old smile from ear to ear coming on Greg's face.
I dropped all these guys like a hot rock. I'm like, peace.
And I mean, he's off like a bat out of hell. I just won.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
right.
We had a couple of people here. The two of the people here actually won the drawings because each one of the separate vendors had a drawing there for prizes and everything like that. You won the Cavalier prize.
I won the Cavalier Prize, which was a box of 2021s. I'm sorry, Sebastian, I know nothing about them. You and I are going to have to talk about that. And an ashtray, beautiful Cavalier ashtray. Thanks to George, I got it home.
Yeah, and George, you won.
The
Who did you win?
Arturial Frente.
AJ Fernandez.
AJ Fernandez. Fuente was there.
Yeah. The humidor.
Yep.
That's awesome.
What's so funny about that, guys, is Greg and I were talking in the hotel room how I'm going to have to get another humidor.
And he wins one.
Yeah, it works out.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it all in all, I mean, it couldn't have been any more fun, I don't think. Especially going with all these crazy guys, because it was just a good time.
Yeah. Well, you know what our plan is for next year.
Yep.
And
More
we do have a
cigars.
plan.
Yeah, more money next year.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
As I twist my mustache. Yeah.
Caber toss.
Caber toss.
Caper toss.
Caber toss.
Caber toss, guys. Caber toss.
No. No.
No caber toss? Drinking competition it is then.
I'm looking at your little girly arms. Do you really think you can do a caber toss?
No, I'm only having you and Roy are doing it. The rest of us are going to watch and cheer on. We're not stupid.
Oh,
Well,
no.
hey, no. What about that axe throwing shit?
That could be fun.
Yeah. I'd have to work on my axe. throwing.
Somebody suggested a cornhole game, and I'm like, nah.
Okay. When we were at dinner Friday night, a couple of people had the privilege, and you got to be fucking hard up for sports at this point. Now, I would understand this during COVID because I actually found myself, for those of you who are familiar on HBO with John Oliver, funny little English guy, funny little bespectacled English guy, he wound up sponsoring a marble league where they were racing marbles on this racetrack. It is freaking hilarious. I found myself, because there were no sports going on. I'm so hard up for sports. I'm laying in bed with my iPad watching marble competition going, oh my God, the Amazing Yellows. I mean, I was just like, holy shit, they're going to win. No. It was like I was watching freaking NASCAR.
Christ. If this isn't a cry for help, I don't know what is.
But anyway, hold on. Let me get back to this. Hold on. So anyway, I was kind of off the beaten track there. But Friday, a few people who were having dinner had the privilege of watching on TV cornholing.
On ESPN, mind you.
ESPN 8, the Ocho. Yeah, thank God you and I had our backs to that TV, Scotty.
I wanted no parts of that. And they were actually calling a play-by-play on cornholing.
What do you talk about the easiest sport in the world to commentate? What do you think they're going to do, Scott? I think he's going to throw the bag towards that fucking board down there. I'll be damned. That's what he did.
The funniest part is Larry knowing exactly how far away these people have to stand from the cornhole board to be able to drop that in there.
Dude, I made that shit up.
I know. I figured you did.
I was going to
still
say,
worked.
you
It
were in the
still
bar
worked.
business. Of course you know. You had to set it up every morning.
No, dude, they didn't have cornhole back then.
I know. I'm fucking
We
with
still
you.
had live darts, man. They didn't even have the plastic tip machines back then. You got steel fucking darts. That's what
Yes.
scared the shit out of me when they came out with this axe throwing thing.
With alcohol,
Dude, a
too.
buddy of mine put in one of these axe things down in San Diego. He tells me a couple years ago, right before COVID. He tells me what he's doing. I'm like, are you serious right now? He goes, what? I go, you're going to have a full alcohol bar and give people axes. He goes, oh, yeah, man, I've checked it out. It's great venue. I want you to just hand them a handgun when they come through the door. Jesus.
Hey, guys, we need to give a big shout out to Havana Cigar Lounge.
Oh, Havana Manor.
Havana Manor.
I was going to get there. What did you two think? We've all been there.
Nice place.
I
Very
think
nice
it was
place.
awesome. And those yardsticks we got from the Lumberjacks.
The Lumberjack, yeah. It's a 40 by 7. It's not the traditional Lancero, but it's close enough. And it's an amazing stick for $8.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to have to do a cigar exchange because I want to try one of those.
Okay.
Yeah, I should have bought some more of their jumbos. They're great big ones. 6.5 by 50.
Yeah.
That was an excellent stick too, and I think that was $8, maybe $9 at the most. But no, great place, real comfortable.
I mean, they had really, a huge amount of comfortable chairs.
Oh, yeah.
So it wasn't crammed at all in the least, even when we went Friday after lunch, and there was a huge contingent of folks who were going to be attending the festival the next day. And it was still plenty of room for everybody. I mean, it wasn't the standard, lawn or deck chair. I mean, you had nice, beautiful leather chairs.
Just
to
like
sit
these
in.
two here.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Also, shout out to D&D Pizza.
Yes.
yes.
We've eaten there 2 trips in a row now. Great pizza, got beers on tap. They were a little shorthanded when we went in there, but didn't stress the guy out. He was just motoring through, got us
Yeah.
handled, so we appreciate that. Greg, what was the name of that place we went to dinner Saturday night?
Hop and Pops.
Hop and Tops or Hop and Pops?
Pop, P-O-P-S.
Hop and Pop.
Hop and Pop.
Another sensational place.
Great food.
Yeah.
Bar and grill, great fish and chips, amazing clam chowder.
Oh yeah, clam chowder was great.
And those rib tips you had?
Rib tips were great. Mac and cheese was great. So yeah, that was a good meal, good service.
Yeah.
Sam and I'll have to go.
Oh,
down
another
there next
shout
time.
out to PJ's where we've had
Yes,
breakfast.
Yes.
BJ's
Oh, yeah.
Diner.
And in case you guys haven't figured out from watching these videos, sorry, it's 5 fat guys on this podcast. If we're recommending something to eat, you know it's a good place to go.
And that's a little travel tip for y'all. If you get to a city you've never been and you're not sure what's going on, you're hungry, ask a fat guy where to eat. We know.
Yes, we do.
Amen to that,
There's a
brother.
reason why we're round.
But but like PJ's too, I was talking to the waiter and the owner. It's all handmade, all made from scratch.
Yeah.
And her bacon that was so thick, like you were commenting on,
Oh, here we go with the bacon thing again.
it was,
Go ahead.
It was nice and thick. But she orders these special cuts, and she goes to wherever the butcher is and picks it out.
Yeah. It's food was great, service was good. So, yeah, we did really well as far as our offsite, ventures this trip. I don't think we had a bad experience at all.
Not at all.
So,
For next year, if you're listening to this, make plans to attend the Rocky Mountain Cigar Festival. Usually the tickets go on sale around March.
February or March, but it's all going to depend on the pandemic again this year. So we'll see what happens.
I think it'll happen. I think this is going to
No, it'll happen. It's just whether they put their tickets on sale in February, March, just like they usually do, or May, like they did this year. We'll see.
True.
But the other thing I'd highly recommend is pick your hotel wisely, because if you can stay at the Omni, great. It's very convenient to be able to have a room to go up to, but there's like, all roads are named either Interlaken or Flatiron, and there's hotels on a lot of them over there, and it's all good places to stay, unless you get 2 queens and a pullout.
Refer to episode 2.
Yes.
so let's expand on that a little bit. If you drink like I drink, the Omni is a must for you to stay.
Yes.
Amen to that, brother.
So, because I can crawl to an elevator.
You almost did.
No.
Nah, he was good. He was just a chatty Cathy, so it was minimal management.
But
Minimal management.
yeah, there's some great hotels right around the area. Bob and Lewis stayed off-site, just 5 minutes away.
Oh, yeah.
They were at the Residence Inn.
Yeah. So, no, for sure. And you guys stick with us because we're going to be. We've got a lot of material to cover from people we met, people we talked to,
Without a
cigars that we bought. We've made a lot of commitments to people, so we're definitely going to reach out to all of you. Just bear with us, and we'll get you on the program.
In fact, before we wrap up here, the next episode we record, Brian, who is the international sales rep for Illusion, is going to be live here at Tobacco Republic with us to do a recording for that next podcast. So we bring you Illusion as our next venture.
My favorite.
Yep. So, starting with Roy, final thoughts on that stick you got going on there?
The Old World Reserve Maduro. It's classic Maduro. All the flavors you want from Maduro, you're going to get it. Great construction, as ever with Rocky. That's one of the things he prides himself on, as well as a good blend of cigar. He's got impeccable tobacco. It's a great stick. I smoke this a lot. It just happens to be one of the cigars that I got from Rocky from the Rocky Patel booth over there, because it came in those. See that little orange rimmed box right there? It's their little travel humidor. Was one of the things that we got from them if you bought a couple boxes. It was in there. I've got one sitting on the couch back over there, and that's where I pulled it from. It's one of the many cigars he has in there. He had 10 different cigars in there. All of them are good cigars. This is no exception.
Yep. George?
This is one fantastic. I love Rocky Patel ever since I've been coming here. You can't go wrong with it. It's nice and smooth all the way through. The tobacco's nice and aged, and you can't go wrong with it.
Larry?
Same feeling with the Camacho, and it's the reason that's one of my go-to sticks. if I'm not really sure, how I'm feeling, what I want, I know if I get a Camacho, I'm going to be happy with it. The flavor, the construction, how it burns. It's always a good stick. So, yeah, there it is there.
Mr. Robinson.
I got to tell you, again, if you've listened to these podcasts, I am a lover of the Nicaraguan leaf. Plasencia, Illusion, specifically this Plasencia is just incredible. I cut my teeth in on the Plasencia 146, and that was a fantastic cigar. This year I got something out of Almafuerte collection, and it has not disappointed. It's a wonderful taste. As far as being real specific to the taste, it's just a crisp, clean taste. And I know that's kind of complicated because you're talking, coffee and nuts. I'm not getting the nut taste, but I am getting hints of coffee. But it's just a wonderful smoke. I mean, anything from the Plasencia line. I got like 3 boxes because, again, like I said, Nicaraguan leaf, you cannot go wrong.
Yep.
Looks like it's been burning really even, too.
It's burned real even, and I don't want people, if you want to take a close-up of it or look at it, and you see there's, looks like it's cracking, that's not because of Plasencia. That's because before the podcast, it fell off the ashtray and hit the floor. So,
Tobacco abuse.
Yeah, I know. Well, hey, I'm still smoking it, which tells you something.
Yep. And for me, the Sumatra, it is my go-to out of the Rocky. The Edgeline, it's a great budget cigar when you want something quick and clean that you're going to enjoy. So it just can't be beat. By the way,
Yeah.
on your one to take your ass to flavor country, where are we ranking that cigar, Scott?
13.7.
Oh, motherfucker, I'm at City Hall in Flavor Country.
Nice.
I'm in the center of town where they have that white gazebo in the park.
Brass band playing.
Oh yeah. This is truly, this is all up in the middle of Flavor Country.
Nice.
Well, with that, looks like my smoke's coming down to the nub and the Scotch glass is empty, so I think it's about that time. I want to thank everybody out there, thank our audience, and thank the folks who we met at the festival, and our guest as well, Roy Bokerman and George Knoop. And on behalf of Greg and Larry and myself, thank you for listening. Check us out at LumaCigarCartel.com. We have a newly constructed website. I think you're going to love it. Like and share us on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram. Don't be a stranger. Drop us a line and let us know you guys are out there. I'm Scott Robinson, and on behalf of all of us here at Beyond the Humidor, we look forward to chatting with you on the next episode. But until then, take care, stay healthy and safe, and good smoke, good drink, and good life.